Thank you very much. My name is Jonathan Borgwing. I'm the founder of Vig, an educational innovation company. Training is a tremendous challenge right now across the board and across the industry. When we look at how much funds are being pushed into training and development, it's $130 billion. When we look at customer satisfaction, we're looking at 25%. And if we think about that, there's a huge room for improvement. But we've all been through training where we're clicking next as quickly as possible. And a lot of that has to do with compliance training, but oftentimes that kind of training is aligned with outcome-based training as well. So we are seeing both a challenge in return on investment as well as learner outcomes. When we look at the K through 12 market, the instructor to student ratios are climbing per day. We see mass exodus of teachers leaving the K through 12 market, which is exacerbating that situation. When we look at higher education, we see teachers having to create curriculum themselves, nothing that has been standardized potentially, not leveraging that subject matter expertise. And then when we look at the corporate environment, we do not see a matching between expectations and outcomes. We think about how the FTE cost of a boardroom full of leaders going through training, and then what the outcome of that training was. Most of the times we're seeing a deficit in that return on investment. And finally, innovation scalability. We all heard about VR and XR, and I anticipate over the next few days with Apple's conference coming up, we're going to hear more about VR and XR. And those technologies have not yet been found to be scalable in a way that makes economic sense for the most part. Thankfully, we have some solutions to some of these challenges. So Vig has come up with a network and an ecosystem of solutions. Now, I'm going to talk about each of these, but for our clients, it's really one solution. We identify what their needs are and customize those solutions for it. Vig started as a educational innovation company focused on instructional design, building things like e-learning products or we call training support packages for face-to-face instruction. But what we found was a lot of our clients needed additional products and services that we were able to build for them, and the market could not support their requirements at a cost-effective manner or in the quality that we were looking for. So that's when we started building Vig LMS, a learning management system, to host the training that we were building. And then furthermore, helping the K through 12 environment with Vig EDU, where we'll come in and partner with schools in order to bring to bear curriculum and coaching for K through 12 teachers. And finally, Vig.dev is our web and AI-based development firm because we have found that the integration for all of these solutions typically requires a web interface, either for teachers or for our commercial clients who are looking to sell educational products. Now, Training OS and VigXR are two really exciting ventures. We've all heard about AI being the forefront, and we've seen the disruptive force it has had across almost every single industry. We think that that is particularly key with education. And so we launched Training OS, which is an AI-based platform focused on educators that allows them to spend more time with students and have the students interact with AI-based assistants to help identify some of their challenges. And that launched in stealth about a year ago, but we really launched it full stream about a week ago. And I'm very happy to say that we've had tremendous success with our student outcomes and adaptation even this past week. Finally, there's VigXR as well. VR technology has been something fairly tricky because it's so expensive for most customers to get engaged inside of that ecosystem. The other challenge is not everybody wants to wear a headset. So when you think about learning and scaling that learning across your enterprise, that sometimes makes it difficult. VigXR is a way for us to solve those problems. We're able to reduce the cost of VR inside of corporate training by 500%. And we're also able to distribute it inside of existing learning management systems. That is tremendous if you have a distributed workforce or that you want to track learning within these environments. The foundation for all of these products and services is our Agile ADDIE framework, which is a framework that I built during my doctoral studies that actually ended up leading to a 68-day reduction in the development of courseware, as well as increased outcomes for our stakeholders. And that has now translated into these successes with a lot of our partners who have been receiving a lot of these products and services. Great example is Island Fin Poke, who we actually developed a VR solution for all of their new employee onboarding, including learning management system support, as well as e-learning. And now that anytime that franchise opens up a restaurant, all of their new employees are going through that training, and they've seen a reduction in the overall challenge it takes to bring people on board. We wouldn't be anywhere without our team. And so we have a tremendous leadership team that has a very varied experience as far as in the educational sector. I myself have had training as far as or experience as an Army veteran, and then going back into TRADOC and changing the way that we sort of train soldiers inside of USACO, as well as with the federal government. We've had, as well as Cynthia, who has experience within the nonprofit entities, which we've also seen a tremendous outpouring from. We've got a really great partnership with StopHumanTrafficking.com, and we are building their entire educational ecosystem currently. Michelle and Alexa both have experience in the K through 12 market as well as higher education. So when we think about the educational market space, we're really well represented to go after new clients as well as understand their pain points. Fiscal year 23, we did around $470,000 worth of revenue. This next year, we're on target to hit 760. But we expect with the growth of Training OS, as well as targeting additional partners, we're going to see exponential growth throughout the following years. We're very, very bullish on Training OS, especially with the recent weeks' progress we've had. We understand that because it's our first big launch as far as this last week goes. We're tempering our expectations, but we are very bullish because we have feature parity with a lot of our competition in the space. And one of our competitors just raised $15 million this past week. We're seeking to raise $2 million, and this is going to go into human capital and marketing and sales acquisition. Now, the reason why this is focused around human capital acquisition rather than general sales is we have tried to reach out to third parties and vendors in order to assist us with marketing, but we have found that there's a lack of understanding of the educational market. Additionally, a lot of the educational market requires a long-term understanding of relationships in order to capture those sales processes, even more so than I had initially estimated. And so the individuals that we're bringing into the company through these acquisitions needs to form long-term relationships with these parties. In addition, we're going to be building out an advisory board that will help us target some of the state, local, and education contracts that we really want to go after over the next year or so. So we're Vig Solutions, and I look forward to answering your questions.
All right, I guess I'll get started here. So who actually builds the content? Is that something that whoever your clients have to build their own training content, or do you help them with it, or is it something you provide?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. Yeah, so we'll actually build, it's usually a partnership, but we can, if you have like subject matter experts, for example, we'll bring them into our process and use their expertise in order to build those products. But oftentimes we'll also have clients say, hey, we don't have time to have that expertise pulled off the line or for whatever reason. And we'll bring validated third-party experts into that development cycle.
Okay. And then for your training OS, are you leveraging a third-party LLM, or is it something you're creating on yourself?
Yeah, well, great question as well. Yeah, so we have strategically chosen to use a third-party LLM, specifically ChatGPT at this time, but we are making ourselves nimble enough to shift to whatever we need to based on who is winning the race, if you will. Because right now, this is an opportunity of tremendous disruption. And for example, you have Facebook's Llama that's just coming out. You've also got Apple releasing and potentially on-device AI system. And so we're probably going to eventually end up with what they call a wrap, but basically like we're going to be taking pieces of different AI models to build them together to make sure that our clients are getting the best of what they need from those AI models.
So do you have a business relationship with OpenAI right now for using their chat GPT, or just using the kind of
We're
online
using their
service?
API right now.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah. Question. Thank you.
said you're looking for 2 million in funding. How much runway would that give you?
That would give us 5 years of revenue. Sorry, 5 years of runway.
Okay. And then currently, how have you funded your company to date?
All bootstraps and customer revenue, and that's where we started from was ensuring that we were very lean. We're very lean and very efficient. And a great example of that is we can take on huge orders. Last year, we in December we had 1 month to build 50 learning products, which often takes an entire team. But the way that we were able to understand the requirements of the client, systemize the QA process, and develop quickly led to both the client being successful and then them being a long-term client of ours. And they actually just moved into using Vig XR as well for some of their latest products.
So what does the implementation look like for your product from the time that we agree that we're going to use your platform to being able to roll it out?
Yeah, great question. It depends on the scope, obviously, of sort of
Sure.
like in the content matter and your target audience. But generally speaking, for an e-learning product, we can get it done as soon as a month to, depending on the length of the rollout, 6 months. So we really partner with our clients to figure out what their goals are as far as launching times. For VR products, it's a little bit longer because we need to do either video shoots or asset development, and so that could be 3 months.
What are some lessons learned that you've had up to this point? Obviously, there's been some challenges and some pain points on your side. So what does
Yeah.
that look like?
Yeah, so one, finding partners that are reliable as far as when you're bringing assets in. So when we need our Unreal Engine stuff built, for example, we have built relationships where if we have overflow, we're able to leverage them, and we're able to strengthen those. But I think the other piece there is that there is often a misconception of what the educational market entails. I think that's the biggest lesson learned because we have seen companies come to us and say, we have all of your marketing solutions, we can handle all of your sales challenges, and they are unfamiliar with the relationships that are really key in order to form those bonds with clients. It takes a long runway for us to really capture those contracts. But the nice part is once they're with us, they're very happy with our services and they maintain a relationship with us in longevity.